everybody. It's we're about 3 minutes early, trying to get the Facebook Live set up. So I've got one running on my phone. I'm supposed to be able to live stream it from Zoom, but the only option I have just says turn live streaming on. I'm not seeing my settings to coordinate that with the actual Facebook group. And so I wonder if it's going out on the main page. We'll see. So if you want to come and ask questions, and I hope you do, then yeah, it says I'm in the group. Then come and ask your questions, and I'm going to cover answers. I'm going to cover the answers. So come on in. We'll figure out how to do this together. And I'll have to cut this out, all the pre-chatter, before I publish it in YouTube or whatever. So come on in. So you will get the best result if you join the Zoom. And the reason I say that is because I may be sharing my screen and have resources that you guys can take a look at. So anyway, while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and pull up on my computer. I'm going to share my screen. So remember, I'm sharing from the Zoom, and that's going to be your best place to watch is on the Zoom. And I've added the link a couple of times now. Harvey, are you okay? Why are you on the floor? Anyway, a couple of updates. One is Harvey is doing pretty well. We have been having, he came to me with some pretty serious seizures. We had 9 in one day, right after he came to me. And that was after he came into rescue and wound up with all of the vaccines, all of the flea and tick meds, all of the heartworm medication, and all of those procedures really happening at one time. And so I believe that he's actually been at least double vaccinated in a very short period of time, and that his body got overwhelmed. So we started doing some detox work and adding some things. And about 2 or 3 weeks after he came to me is the day he wound up having multiple seizures. He had 9. And then they have been occurring like every 2 weeks, pretty much on schedule, almost to the hour. And this is the first time, hey Sharon, the first time that I have gone more than 2 weeks without a seizure. So we're going to cross our fingers. And part of that is I added a new to me homeopathic remedy that is specifically targeted at nocturnal seizures. So fingers crossed we have a solution, and we're on the mend for that. So Sharon, welcome. I am trying to figure out how the heck to actually stream to Facebook Live and share my screen, and it's not working. So right now I'm dialed in on the phone too.
You're better than I would.
So welcome to technology. It always fails me. No matter what I do, I cannot get it right when I go live. So it is what it is. So how are you doing? How's your
good? Busy day.
Yeah. So you're reminding me, just seeing you, that I think you sent me a request late last week about joining your Google Drive again under a different email, and I think I forgot to accept that. So I'll go do that after we hang up.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't know I had 2 emails.
I think you got multiple identities, girlfriend.
It's my son. I don't do it. He does it. And it's like, oh my God.
That happens. Hold on, I stopped sharing myself. it actually happens to a lot of people. The email they send on the form, and then I'll add them, and then they'll come back and they'll like, that's not my Google address. And I actually have the same issue
Oh,
personally. So I get it. So what can I help you with tonight?
well, I was hoping, like you said, other people would be on so I can kind of hear other people's issues and stuff to kind of
Yeah, well, I'm
just help.
hoping other
But
people will start to
um,
join too. So maybe you can go in the Facebook group and say, hey, y'all need to be there, or add a Google review or something along those lines. It would be helpful.
okay, I can try to do that. I know you said you would like to. I'd like to know a little bit more about muscle testing.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're going to
I
cover
just
that. Karen Deck, I see you on the Facebook group. If you want to join the Zoom, you're probably going to get a better result because you can see me maybe better and share my screen. Oh, Lord, now I've lost myself again. There we go. There we go. Let me grab my pendulum and we'll just jump into the muscle testing. Hang on a second. I bought a couple of new ones in the last couple of weeks so I can have them in different locations around the house and my car and depending on where I am. So
oh wow, okay.
yeah, they're not very expensive. So this is one of them. It just hangs on like a little jewelry chain and then has a little pendulum.
So where do you get something like that at?
Amazon or like a crystal store or
Oh, really?
places like that. For those of you, and they're not very expensive. I think these were like less than $10 a piece.
Okay.
A lot of times when we are doing workshops, we will actually take like the little nut, like a hardware nut, the little
Right.
octagonal thing. So it's just something that has a little bit of weight to it, and
Yeah.
actually run some dental floss through it and call that a pendulum. There's a lot of things that work. And so
Wow.
there are other ways to do this. And when I do the module that I'm going to add to the remedies class, we will show those different ways, because there's a finger way to do it. There's a way to do it with a partner and you work on their arm and their shoulder. And there's a way that you can do it where you stand up and you basically just relax your body and you ask the question. And depending on your personal yes and your personal no, which I'll explain in a minute, you may actually sway a little bit. It'll feel like you're just a little bit off balance. And so there is depends on you. You have to sort of figure
Right.
this out, but you may sway backwards for yes or no, or forward for the opposite effect.
Wow.
So it's kind of really fascinating. So my personal preferred way is a pendulum. So I'm hoping everybody can see that. And the reason is, when I first started, I didn't trust myself not to influence the sway,
Right.
to influence the actual release of the finger option, right? I thought I was making more control of that. And I've learned to trust that process now, but the pendulum is a good way to show people how to do this. But you need something that dangles, that has a
Okay.
little bit of weighted object on the end. And again, that can be like a little bolt or something. And so I usually start by, and so the idea here is to tune into either yourself or to become the surrogate for your dog. For example, you do not have to be in the same room with the animal. I can do animals from all across the world. A lot of times I'll just ask for a photo of the dog, and you set your intention that this is for that dog. Like I would say, this is me tuning into Harvey. We're looking for answers for his greatest and best good. We always want to set a very positive intention and bring in positive energy and make that that connection, if you will, and that intuition targeted at them. And then when we're finished, we want to say we're releasing the connection we have with Harvey, or the connection we have with the dog, and going back to focus on ourselves and that sort of thing. So,
Wow.
so I usually teach people to start by holding the pendulum over the index finger and just let it dangle there.
Okay.
Shorten this just a little bit so you guys can see the whole thing. In fact, let me back up so I'm not a close-up. So you see it dangling over the index finger, and then let it dangle. I'm going to show you that I tighten it in to I put my elbow. Hang on, Harvey, I don't want to run over you. I put in my elbow so that I'm keeping this a little more stable versus kind of letting it flow free for all kind of thing. So I create stability out of it. But let me see if I can adjust the camera. Back up. So I hold it in and I will ask it to show me its yes. And it'll start spinning. My yes is clockwise. Do you see it moving? It may look on the screen. And then if I say stop, it should stop moving. Stop. Did you see it stop?
Yes.
And then I'll say, show me no. My no is counterclockwise. Now, I hope you can see and trust that I'm not moving this arm or the finger. This is just an energetic connection. So you start with show me yes, stop, show me no, stop. They also make these little grids. This is a little wooden grid that has yes, no, rephrase if we're not clear enough in our question to get a specific answer. And sometimes we'll get a maybe, same as rephrase, meaning it depends. And what it may depend on is getting more specific in that question. And when we ask these questions, it's not a forever answer. It is at this moment in time.
Okay.
And so we can ask things like, do we need a specific supplement? Do I need milk thistle?
Okay.
Do I need a non-synthetic vitamin mineral supplement? And we're looking for a yes or no. When we're looking at supplements, for example, a lot of people ask me how much, right?
Okay.
Or
Right.
in a drop of essential oil, how many?
Yeah.
Or how frequently? And so we can ask those questions of, do I need one of these? Do I need two? Do I need? And we ask that question in a very sequential order until we get a no. And then that becomes our suggested dose, for lack of a better word, for that particular delivery. And in those situations, it may vary from day to day. Like, for example, I might need to apply, and Karen, I'm looking at you, I might need to apply forgiveness today, but not tomorrow in an essential oil. A friend of mine, we were at a conference and everybody was talking about these muscle testing and supplements and different things. And we were having a problem with her dog and allergies. Allergies is a big common thing. Sorry, I'm trying not to run over Harvey. And the veterinarian that we were talking to basically said to add a product called sulfurzyme to the dog's supplement regimen. And my friend said, well, we already add sulfurzyme. And the vet said, well, how much? So long story short, we started muscle testing from afar. We were actually in Las Vegas and the dog was in South Carolina, and we're trying to figure these things out. And she said, you ask it, do I need one? Do I need two? Do I need three? And this dog needed 6. Now, if we read the label of that bottle for a human dose, because these are human grade products, it basically would say, take 2 and call me in the morning. That wasn't enough for the severity of this particular dog. Now, when we're doing things like that, we have to know that the product is safe for animal use,
Mhm.
especially if we're dipping into human grade products. But supplements are generally labeled low. They're typically labeled for basically a maintenance dose. And when we need to hit therapeutic levels for some things, then we have to start thinking about how to increase that. And when we're moving into those larger ranges, for example, we want to ask that question every day, because there's going to come a point where we reach the maximum threshold for that particular animal. And ideally, there's a point where we don't need it anymore, or we've kind of created a stability, and we can start to either vary the frequency at which we deliver those supplements, or we may not need them every day, and we may not need the same amount.
So, okay, so say you start on something, or you just, you ask the questions and you like check back in a week to see like that, or you
It may be
2
every
weeks?
day.
Every
It
day.
may
Okay.
be
Yeah,
for that day. So for
right.
example, a lot of times we'll look at a supplement and we go, well, do I need it twice a day or once a day? And so you may, especially with sick dogs, like really unwell scenarios, we may ask very often throughout the day, is this something you need right now?
Okay, wow.
Or if we've got a dog that has become quote unquote finicky, right? And they're refusing something that they ate yesterday. We've put the same bowl of food down and now I'm not touching it, right? If something is sort of off in the gut health, then having the same food 2 days in a row may be intolerant to them.
Okay.
Or if they're unwell, that may be an issue. So we could even be standing at the grocery store and muscle test, and that's sometimes where we use the okay finger approach. Will you eat, or will Harvey eat beef today? Will Harvey eat chicken today? Will you eat an egg today? Right? Will you whatever? And we can start to really hone in on what their energetic frequency is guiding us to do, and ideally quit guessing quite so much at what to put in the food bowl.
Okay. Is it a lot to learn when you're doing that, or just a practice over,
It is just practice asking a yes, no question
right? Okay.
for the greater good of that animal at that moment in time.
Okay. Wow.
And so a lot of times people will say, well, what essential oil should I use? And I'm like, I don't know. A lot of times it'll come to me intuitively, and sometimes it won't, right? And a lot of times I'll say to people, you are your dog's best advocate. You need to learn to ask these questions, which is part of why we want to teach this, right? So if I'm working through something like that, then I don't know, you probably can't see it, but I have 2 shelves, they're basically nail polish holders. One has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of essential oils that's probably 2 feet wide.
Okay.
Right? 2 of those hanging on the wall. One has single essential oils and the other has blends in it. That's how I organize alphabetically so I can find stuff. But if I'm not sure what I need, I will sit here and with my little pendulum go, is the oil I need on row 1?
Okay. Okay.
Nope. Row 2? Nope. Row 3? Yes. Is it bottle number 1? Is it bottle number 2? And I'll
Wow.
work my way, and I can do that by the number or the name, right? If I'm not in the room with it, I'll, and I can narrow in to which one they need. And then I'm like, do you need me to is diffusion the best method today? Or do you need 1 drop or 2 drops or 3 drops, right? And this is where a lot of people are going to be uncomfortable, because how many fearful things have you heard on the interwebs about, oh my God, never use more than a half of a drop?
Mhm.
right? I don't subscribe to that. It depends on the quality of the oil, the situation, all of those things. And I'll make some decisions based on that. But like in the raindrop, for example, we may use, well, there are 9 oils in the raindrop kit, for example. So for some dogs, it may be as many as 9 drops of essential oil. It might be as many as 36, depending on
Okay.
how many of each oil I use to do that, right?
Okay.
Many times I'll just do that neat. But anyway, this is about coming up with a yes, no question and coming into a very specific number or choice or time of day or frequency within the week or whatever that may be of the oil or supplement or activity that we're trying to use.
And when you do this pendulum, where exactly is it? Is it hovering over the dog or
Not
not? Or,
necessarily. So for
okay.
example, Karen's on the phone. Karen's out
Mhm.
on the Facebook Live.
Mhm.
I did muscle testing for her dog today.
Oh, wow.
Actually started it yesterday and repeated it today, looking for the variance
Mhm.
answer. And she's 2.5, 3 hours from me.
Okay.
If the dog's with you, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be, as long as you set your intention of who it's for, which is why, depending on if I'm doing a client and they're somewhere else, I'll ask for a photo of that dog just to have that image in the brain.
Mhm.
But you could
That's
be at
very
the
good.
grocery store asking the question about a food option. Or you could be in your office and the dog's at home while you're at work and you're trying to figure out, well, what supplement should I buy?
Okay, that's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, pretty fascinating. I see my friend Maria has dialed in and I'm going to tell a story about her. She was very resistant to this whole notion of pendulum or muscle testing kind of stuff. And when I first started introducing it to her, because she was resistant, it kind of had this negative connotation in her mind about it. It would not work. She couldn't get a yes or no movement, right? And so she really had to sort of get into grounding and believe in the possibility of all of those things. And we were standing in a store one day and she was trying and it wasn't working. And I'm like, you're creating this resistance, you're creating this block. And we tried again later. We walked back into the same store another day, another time that she was visiting, and it was moving without any, I mean, it was just, she connected. And so she's like been interested in it ever since. So kind of fascinating stuff.
Yes, very much so.
Fascinating. So let's ask the question. What's on your mind in the moment? What can we ask a question about Trip or one of your dogs?
To me, it's like, why is Squirt so angry?
We can't ask why.
Oh, okay. What is triggering his
It's got to
anger?
be a yes or no question. But let me before you jump into that, there is let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Let me know if that's coming up.
There, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay. I have been working on this document for my own use, just to have as part of my profile or my consulting work, right? So I can come in and ask some questions. Is it on Trip's advance or Squirt's behalf an emotional imbalance? Yes or no? An organ or gland weakness? Yes or no? Is it parasites? Yes or no? right? And I can,
Okay.
and so I can come and look at all the organs of the body. I can add, and so remember I showed you this little thing.
Right.
Look at what you see on the screen here with strong, weak, priority, and blocked. Same principle, I just changed the words. And so I would hold my pendulum over that grid and ask, is the liver strong? Or is it in the organ? And I'm looking for the way that it's going to swing to tell me if it's strong, weak, or blocked.
Oh, that's interesting. That's a good way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of ways to do this. So when I was working on Karen's dog today, I did that for the organ system. They were all quite strong. There was nothing standing out in that particular area. So I moved on.
Okay.
And I came in here. So this is part of the emotional work. And this is where we might dig into squirt, for example. And I will
Okay.
come down this list and go, is the emotion we're dealing with fear? Is it grief? And I'm looking for my yes, no to any of these. And
Okay.
so what is often described as anxiety may actually be fear or trauma or something other than that generic term of it could truly be anxiety, but
Yeah.
it could be something more specific. And so we start trying to figure that out. And from there, I then look into the subtypes, that second column that you're seeing. We know where those emotions live. They all live in an organ system. And then I can look across and go, well, we need to do some chakra work in this area. Or here are some suggested possible choices for essential oils or a homeopathic remedy or an herbal. And why do I have 3 choices? Why do I have oils, homeopathy, and herbs? A, because I love them all. But B, you might have one or the other already in hand. So I'm going to use what you got if I can, and versus you having to go buy something new. So if you're an oily chick, then we're going to start there. If you've got a whole collection like I do, then we're going to start with the oils. If you don't have anything, it may be easiest to get herbs into your hand. And so we look at those and have some options for that. But we can come down into this. I did not create this. And in fact, in my document, I should give, oh, here he is, Dr. Brad. There is a whole study of this, and there's a book about it. But basically, you come through this flow chart.
Mm-hmm.
You start with, so remember I said in my essential oils, is it row 1? Is it 2? We do the same thing here. Is it column 1, row 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? And so if we get a yes, we come across, is it in column A? Yes or no? Is it in column B? Yes or no? And then once I know which column it's in, I go down each one more specifically and walk through this flow chart, right? To try and figure that out. I then come and say, is this emotion trapped? Is it stuck? Right? Did you, Squirt, inherit this emotion? Meaning, did it come from your mother? Did it come from the grand? And this is more often we understand this better from the human side. But it could have been something that happened from their time before birth.
Oh, wow.
Right? Something traumatic could have happened to the mother or the grandmother. Because we have to remember that eggs are in the mother before she's born. That blow your mind right there?
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to talk about that a little more. But the idea is if I have grandma,
okay,
and she's pregnant with a female, that female in uterine already has all the eggs she's going to have in her body before she's born. So if it happened to grandma while mama was in the womb, that trauma
Yeah.
could be passed along.
Okay. Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where we say, is it inherited?
Okay.
Even in this scenario, I could say, is it inherited from a human? Meaning, is the dog taking on something from you?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And then I
Okay.
could come across and say, did this happen before you were born? Before you were 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? And I can find out when it first showed up. So I did this recently with somebody, and I said, what happened to your dog between the age of 2 and 3? And their mind was completely blown. They're like, how in the world did you know that? And I'm like, I didn't know that. This thing told me.
Wow.
So then we move into, can I release it? And there is a process, and it's really, it's going to sound crazy, but you use magnets. I use a photo of that dog, and I'm thinking about, I go back up here. Which organ is it in, right?
Mhm.
Which organ is it in? And you basically run that magnet either over that photo, or you can act yourself as a surrogate, and you work magnets, and we're talking like refrigerator magnets, fine.
Yeah.
And you discuss releasing that emotion with the animal.
Okay.
And if you get an answer of no, I can't release it, it means they're not ready to. And we have to figure out how to help move that. And that's when I can go back to those essential oils or homeopathies or Reiki or whatever it may be.
Mhm.
I can say, did we release it? If it's ready to be released and we do our work, we can say, is it released? And we're going to get a yes or no. And if we keep getting no, then we dig a little deeper into how to do, and it may take more than once, and we build our way through that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I also use it, if you give me a list of supplements, I'm going to ask a question about that specific supplement of, is it, basically, is it right for your dog?
Okay.
Is the one you're using bioavailable? Meaning, if you're using some synthetic version of it, it might not work. Is it creating something off, aka toxic, in the body? And the needed now goes back to, do I need it in this moment? Do I need it today? No. Maybe tomorrow I do. And so that's when we start working across trying to figure out yes or no to now versus doing it again tomorrow. And remember, I said with the sulfurzyme, we were really low. We need 3 times as much. And so that's how we start figuring these things out.
Okay.
Crazy stuff.
That's good stuff. That's very interesting hearing this.
Yeah. So, ideally, when you start practicing, and I've done this, I've taken envelopes and put paper words on the paper like chocolate and onions and grapes, each in a separate envelope. And then things like milk thistle and goat's milk or whatever, simple things, right? And over each one, you ask, is this right for Squirt? Is this right for Trip? And you should get a no for chocolate, right?
Okay, yeah.
But
Right.
that helps you start to see how this is actually working. So we'll cover that, and we'll do demos of that, and I'll have everybody do their own work in the remedies class.
Okay.
I've lost myself. I'm showing my whole screen. Where did I go? There we go. There I am. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It was just very interesting to
So
look
if we look at if we look at Squirt and we say, is Squirt angry?
You gotta
I'm not
back up.
getting a yes. Remember, my yes is clockwise. This is back and forth, and it's like maybe, maybe.
You're too close to the screen. Is it doing something for you? Okay.
Is Squirt angry? So it's, there we go. A little bit around. So yes, right?
Yes.
Did this happen before he was 1? No. Stop. So now we're talking about his lifetime, right? Did something happen before he was 2? No. Right. And so we would keep going to figure out the range of age in which this may have occurred, and then start digging a little bit deeper into what that is and how to release it.
That is very, very interesting. Because I'm thinking, when you're saying the age, you're right. To me, it started when he had Addison's. So but we hadn't got to that age yet. But yeah, that's good. That's interesting. Just even ask those questions and it says something to you,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then you can say, is it associated with, is he angry about his disease?
No, yeah. Okay.
Right. And then you might drill into it and go, is there an emotion that you have about his illness? Are you angry about it? And if yes, then the two of you are sharing this thing. And then we figure out how to deal with it. And sometimes it's about communicating with them to say, in a meditative, prayerful kind of way, this is not your fault. It's okay. We're going to release this anger and we're going to make the best of this thing. And we have those meditative spiritual moments using our essential oils or our remedies or whatever it is to work through this thing together. But this is where I say, when I was talking to this woman the other day, her mind was blown. And part of it was her own emotion that her dog was picking up on. He did not understand her emotion associated with this thing. And I'm like, I can't consult with you on your own thing. That's beyond my scope, but I can tell you it's related. And you may need to, the things that we're talking about on his behalf may also apply to you. And once we did that, and she started working through this, things got better.
Wow.
Karen, and Karen, I hope you won't mind me saying this. She messaged me the other day. The last time we did these calls, and we mentioned the muscle testing and some things of that nature. She's been talking about her situation with her dog that's been going on a really long time. Reactivity on their walks, inability to get him in the car, hates the vet, all of those kinds of things. And I don't remember exactly what I said to her, but I'm like, have the conversation with him. Just have a conversation with him about his behavior, right? And when she mailed me the other day, she said, I think he heard every word you said because his behavior has improved.
Wow.
We didn't do anything. Nothing about it. We're still working through some stuff, but that was the way she started her message to me, was, I think he heard you. And I'm like, no, he heard you. And so even today with some of the stuff we were working on, I'm like, build into your communication with him this spiritual, prayerful, open dialogue, say the words out loud or meditate with him, but have this connection of, you're safe, you are okay, I will protect you. We go to the vet because I want you to be healthy. We go to the vet because I love you. And that's part of her next layer of work.
Wow. Okay.
Now, that sounds like voodoo to some, right?
Yeah, but
that is far beyond food and supplements. But we have to see our animals as energetic beings who have trauma and emotions rooted somewhere in their body caused by something that we might not know yet or might not understand. We may never know.
Right.
How do we help them move out of it? And that now, so that's some real woo-woo stuff sometimes for people to start to go, wow, I thought she talked about food. I thought she fixed allergies, right? But it all is intertwined somehow.
Yeah, no, I would love to have that communication connection.
Yeah.
A lot better.
Well, just start. I mean, just start wherever you are.
Right.
And then pop in when I release that module into the remedies class. We're going to talk more about those things. And that'll be, you're already in the forum, so you'll see all that when it starts getting populated.
Oh, okay. I'll make sure I take a look though, or write it down so I can.
So I know there's a couple people that have popped in on the Facebook side versus the Zoom. So ladies, if you're out there and you want to type in a question, I can see them if you want to ask questions that way. But Sharon, if you've got other questions, go ahead there too. Amy, what are you saying yep to? How wild and fascinating this crazy stuff is. Sharon, you got anything else?
I'll just ask a question. My sister, I tried to get my sister on, but she's still working.
Okay.
She has a dog that's taken golly, omegas and Dasequin or whatever, and he's not eating the tablet. He's not wanting the tablets anymore. I guess her question is, does he? I mean, can't she just double up on the omegas and kind of?
The Dasequin and omega are two very different things.
Okay.
Right. Omega is it's an omega-3 fatty acid. Can it benefit and support joint health? Yes. It is a good anti-inflammatory. And I think any dog that has joint health, inflammatory conditions, growing puppies, senior citizens, they all need omega. Omega-3. Most people don't realize when they add omega-3, 6, 9, they're not actually creating the right ratio change. They're moving everything along together. And what we're really trying to do is bring the omega-3 higher than everything else, right? So most omega products are labeled, so this goes back to our labeling, at a maintenance dose. In the forum, I have a chart for omega-3 dosing based on weight and severity of condition. So she may need to improve the quality of her omega and the amount of. And by amount, I don't necessarily mean the number of tablespoons. I mean how much is within that tablespoon itself, right? So when you look at a product like Nordic Naturals, the small dog tablespoon quantity of omega in that amount is different than the amount of omega in the large dog.
Right.
So that's first. The other side of that is I don't love the Dasequin product. I don't love the glucosamine chondroitin products. Studies, there's a product now called JOPE, JOPE, and you'll see that in the forum and on my website. You can read more about it.
Okay.
It is a collagen-based joint supplement that is showing a significantly higher, by as much as 40% greater efficacy above the glucosamine-based supplements.
Never heard that. Wow.
Now, okay, it's a little pricey, but you get what you pay for in this particular case. It really is a great product. Poppy is on that. There's a whole section in the website and the forum. So there are two different pieces, right? advanced information in the forum, basic information on the website. But if you just search joint, JOINT, for joint health in either category, in either place, you're going to see a lot of information about joint health.
Okay.
If it's moving into those, you're really seeing them slow down, pain, difficulty getting up. I also love the PEMF mat. It's fantastic.
PMEF or PEMF?
PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic frequency is what it stands for, PEMF. They usually run like a $50 off just about all of the time. They'll probably have a big Black Friday special, right?
Oh, wow.
But I bought one when Poppy blew out her knee as part of her recovery plan, not knowing that it's the same thing that my rehab vet was also using as part of his spa treatments. I loved it so much for what it was doing for her that we started using it for Huey at the time. He was he was 20 years old when he passed as a senior dachshund, but it kept him mobile his whole time. I loved it so much that I bought one for me. I bought the human version for myself.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow.
In my opinion, and for what it's worth every penny.
Okay. I don't think I've heard of that one.
It's on the forum. Go read about it. You'll see my affiliate link for that too.
Okay.
Karen's saying she loves Joe. Yeah, I do too. I think it's
really? And it is I think you spelled it JOPE.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank y'all for that.
Amy Whitley's on Facebook says, do you offer the PEMF mat to order on your site? Yes, ma'am, I do. You can find the affiliate link either on the website, welloldcanine.com, or in the member forum. It's in both places. And if I ever see them, in fact, they have a new product. When I bought it for the human side, they have something that they call a collar. It's just like it almost looks like a headband, but you wear it around your neck. And they've created a version of that now for the dogs. So the human version, you can do vagus nerve reset work. You can do beta waves, theta waves, gamma wave, whatever they all are. Lots of different frequency settings. But you just wear it around your neck, and I sometimes sleep with it, right? Or I'll be sitting out on a conference call and I'll put that on or whatever. They now have a version of that same type of collar for dogs that you can just drape around their neck or wrap around a shoulder while they're sleeping, or it's even little dogs, you could just almost put it on them like a saddle, just drape it across their back. But the mats, they just sleep on. And they're rechargeable, so you could put it in a crate, you could put it in the car, wherever they rest, you could put them on it.
Oh, okay. I'll definitely look into that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You give me a lot of info, a lot of stuff to look at.
There's more information than I think most people can take in at any given time. I mean, I've obviously been doing this a long time. And so that's one of the things I'm trying to sort out is how to, I can't give away the farm, but I do give away a bunch to my clients, which is why that member forum is separate. But I've tried to organize that by major category. So just keep in mind, to anybody that's watching this now or in the future, if you are looking for something specific, but you don't even know what it is, right? Keyword searches are going to point you in the right direction. Joint for joint health, pain, inflammation, allergy, senior, Cushing's, Addison's, whatever that primary word for the thing you're trying to understand better, it is there. You start with one keyword search and it's going to push you into all the information you might need.
Okay.
And that's true whether it's the basic info on the website, or the deeper dive content for my clients.
Got it.
All right, friends, anything else? All right, so Sharon, I'll get you added to the with your new email or your alternative email. I'll get you done. I'll do that tonight, real quick. And then if you need to schedule one of your follow-ups to see what's going on with Squirt.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely with you on that.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. You guys have a lovely evening. And I'm going to get these on. I'm going to experiment with times, like whether, 7:30 works better or 8 o'clock, and whether a Tuesday's better than a Thursday. I'm going to experiment a little bit. We may even do some Saturdays. We might do some Sunday afternoons when we actually move into the much cooler hours and I'm not outside with the dogs. But I'm going to experiment because I want everybody to have an option to get the support they need. And right. And I've just been so fired up in the last little while. I keep getting invited to classes. Like I got invited to a class recently, but it's $4,000. I'm like, you people have lost your minds.
Wow.
And then I'm thinking, I'm not a veterinarian, but I know enough. I know a lot. These are things that I've been studying for many years. And so I don't know that I would get $4,000 worth of information out of it, right? Or a return on the investment based on what I'm already doing, right? So I say that because that just keeps pushing me to find ways to make things more affordable and more available to all of you, when it's just, I got a question about what supplement to use, right? You don't necessarily need a crazy package of services to do that. And so even though I think I've made a lot of resources available, about 4 people see whatever I post on Facebook, which just makes me angry because I'm not willing to spend ad money for that. And I don't know that enough people are making it out to actually search those keywords on the website for all the free stuff that's out there. So video is my next option. And so I'm going to keep at it until I win this battle.
Okay.
I'm determined. So feedback is welcome. You're very welcome, Karen. And I'm looking forward to see how Hudson progresses as well. All right.
Thank you for your time.
I'm sorry, Sharon.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. You guys have a lovely evening and I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Take care.